Why indentured label was taken by the British from India to other colonies? Have they been able to preserve their cultural identity over there? I think it has been asked in the previous year. This question has been asked. Clear? Indentured, taken by the British from India to other colonies. Have they been able to preserve their cultural identity over time? What do you mean by, first of all, indentured labor? The word is contract. Indentured laborers means laborers who have signed certain amount of contract to work for fixed period of time under their master. They cannot walk away from the master without the expiry of the term of contract. Clear? So it is indentured labor means contractual labor. Contractual labor is certain amount of contract has been entered between the labor and the master. Until the expiry, validity of that contract, the labor has to work under the same master. Clear? So indentured labor, because Indians as laborers went to work in other colonies as under a contract. They could not leave within short period of time. They had to stay there. They had to work as per the terms and conditions of the contract or the agreement. They are known as indentured labor. So why such contractual labor was taken by the British from India to other colonies? Other colonies means largely they took them to some parts of Africa. They took them some to Caribbeans, that is Central America, Fiji and all. They worked in large numbers, Caribbean islands, clear? They worked in this region. And all they have been, or have they been able to preserve their culture over these regions? This is the question, clear? So first question is why? We have to identify the reasons, factors, why indentured labor was taken by the British from India to other colonies. No. In the first instance, when you will work, we'll read what kind of question has been asked. But as I told you, there will be questions in which you will have to think and generate the points. Points are very simple. Clear? First of all, forget about this question. Why do you take any contractual labor from one place to another place to work? Why do you think? Give me some common examples. Same would be the factor here also. British were also traders. Why they took Indians from this region to other colonies to work there? What was the logic? What could have been the reason? They won't revolt in that place. Yeah, obviously points are coming. They won't revolt. They would be contributing towards agriculture. They provided cheap labor, wages also. Clear? At the same time, Indians by this time were inhabiting the diverse part of Indian territory. So they didn't have nostalgic feeling toward any territory. So they could have easily acclimatized to those regions, familiarized those regions, and therefore they could work for longer period of time. This could be another factor. Tell me other factors. Just think, why do you take some labor from one place to another labor? Factor basically, Indians, are people of lower caste, wanted to get rid of the caste distinctions in India, and therefore, since they wanted to get free from caste restriction, they realized in other countries they won't face such restriction, and that happened also. Not only this, even gender discrimination. Large number of women were ready to go as indentured labor because they realized what is the point of bearing all atrocities in patriarchal society. This can be reason, many reasons. Many peasants became landless peasants. Since they became landless peasants, they realized rather than working here, they could work in other countries also for better remuneration. And in contract, obviously, they were guaranteed more remuneration. True. Why do people even now go from one part to? Why the people, large number of people go to West Asia? Think about that. Just for better remuneration, better salary. Clear. They're ready to work far away from the home also. Same thing. It was not only forced. Voluntarily also people wanted to go to other areas to work just to get rid of caste distinction, gender discrimination, better employment opportunities, better remuneration, all these factors. So why indentured labor was taken by the British? They were more customized with agriculture. So plantation agriculture could be pursued there. They always was in the diverse regions. They could have easily accustomed to that region. They could work for longer hours. These were the factors that British took indentured labor from India to other colonies. Many factors. All factors have come. Clear. Apart from this, next part is, have they been able to preserve their cultural identity over there? Clear. Have they been able, because since they had been staying for a longer period of time, have they been able to preserve their cultural identity? And if such questions comes, make it very clear. Clear. The year in those questions asked, some major articles and developments must have taken place, clear, related to the cultural identity of those people, clear, especially islands like Fiji, Caribbeans, large number of Indians are there. Mauritius also, large number of Indians and their culture is for clear. And at that time, largely they have been able to preserve their culture, which is found even now in major parts of Caribbean islands. Some examples has to be given. Here you have to be a bit specific because as I told you, if this question is framed, obviously certain developments must have taken place related to cultural preservation of PIOs in other parts of India. Clear. So we need to understand about those major cultural phenomena. Most importantly, I'll let you know, clear? There is a festival known as Phagwara festival, which is celebrated by lower caste people in India. Even now, when they went there, this Phagwara festival is even now celebrated in Jamaica. Clear? It's a very important. There's a music from India known as chutney music. Clear? That is folk music. Large number of lower caste people who went there, they began to perform this music. This music is still performed in islands of Caribbean and Central America. Clear? At the same time, the other cultural activities, there are some food articles which were produced in India or manufactured in India. Those food items were produced there also, and they're popular even now. Clear? So right next, some examples here. Clear? Some examples basically. First of all, food culture. They have preserved their food culture. Food culture has been preserved. This is especially Bunny chow. Clear? Bunny chow is a food that is popular in South Africa. And as we all know, large number of indentured labor from India worked in South Africa. Their issues were even highlighted by Mahatma Gandhi. Clear? Racial discrimination. Bunny chow. Clear? Then we have another concept of synthesized music. Synthesized music. Fused music. Synthesized music. Caribbean island, clear? That is known as chutney music. Popular among folk people, chutney music. And this is popular in Caribbean island. Caribbean island. Then we have also Phagwa festival. Phagwa festival, clear? And this festival is even now celebrated in Jamaica. So some factual information is clear. No, you must be wondering why such a specific question, how can it be answered? Don't worry. This issue arises only when there are series of articles that comes on those preservation. So if those series of articles keeps on coming, in that particular year, the topic itself becomes important, clear? And you have to keep track of that. For instance, I'll let you clear. If you get any typical question in coming year on issue of Maratha Navy, and there are some specific issue also, don't get surprised. Why Maratha Navy? Because of late, the symbol of Indian Navy has been changed and the Navy of emblem of Maratha Navy has been adopted. So obviously it becomes important to have all information about naval power of the Marathas. Clear? So expect anything typical also. No doubt, because they want you, clear? They can ask some typical question on Subhash Chandra Bose also, because his statue has been unveiled in the central vista or in the India Gate, clear? You can get any question on that. You can also get question on sculpture, because same person who has crafted the sculpture of Subhash Chandra Bose crafted the sculpture of Ramanuj, which was inaugurated by Prime Minister in last year. That question was asked in prelims also this time, clear? So it is current based. In fact, in prelims, they have stated statement. Prime Minister inaugurated the statue of Ramanujachar in Hyderabad. And then she said, Ramanuj advocated the philosophy of Visisht Advaitwad. So they have linked current development with historical issue. Clear? So if such developments take place, you have to follow that. Clear? In world history, I'll let you know, there was one who once a question asked, clear? Discuss the role of intellectuals of West African nations in decolonization of Africa. Because at that time, several of leaders who liberated West African colonies from European power, most of them became the president of African nation. The most important being Nkrumah. Nkrumah became Ghana and all, clear? And therefore the question was asked. No, it is not about history. It's about developments that is going on. Obviously, because every topic has to be supplemented with current issues, clear? So it is not because of only history. It's because of developments that take place for at least one last year. You have to take care, both in prelims and mains examination. Clear? So current affairs in this perspective. This is a previous year question, indentured labor. Clear? Reasons: acclimatization, freedom from caste distinction, gender discrimination, cheap labor, agriculture knowledge, and at the same time, all major reasons. We had discussed the factors. How do you conclude this answer? Soft power. This can be the most appropriate thing. Clear? That the preservation of culture by Indian laborers outside India clearly indicate the soft power image or soft power approach of India in foreign policy. Clear? It can be, because India influences foreign policy through cultural diplomacy. So soft power. Clear? You can write the preservation of culture by Indian migrants. Migrants are completely transferring to other regions. Indian migrants indicate the soft power approach of Indian society. Even in contemporary times. Even in contemporary times. Clear? Is the question tough? It's not tough. It's only one thing, that these fact points you may not be knowing. I know that. Clear? But it's not about knowing. It's about developments and current issues. Such questions are framed with this aspect.